Hello everyone, welcome back to the studio. I'm excited. Today we're going to work in my sketchbook. Here it is, March, and we are continuing to get through it, which is exciting. I can put the link below which sketchbook this one is. You know, it's okay. It's got okay paper. I don't love it for watercolor, but we're using gouache today. Another cool thing that I just recently got, I'll put the link above. When we opened these gouache, we did like a color palette for it. But then yesterday I got this, which is fabulous, by the way. It's very inexpensive, this palette. And I'll show you, I'll put the link of this below. This actually has these fantastic little trays that you put the magnet on. And it's just wonderful. So I took my gouache in the tube and I filled it up. And so now this fits in the top. And so I can just put the top on and travel around with this little thin carrier, which is fantastic. And so anyway, I'm using these today. And then we are also, something I do not do very often, but I thought, you know what, we're playing, we're going to have fun. I'm going to use some stencils, and the one I chose to use today is, it's called Budding Vase. And again, I will put the link for this below. I thought it was super pretty. I love all the flowers. And I also got some bubble wrap yesterday when I got the little containers. So I'm going to maybe play around with some bubble wrap. And I have my Sharpie, which is just a Amazon brand. So we are going to use both sides, and I just really want to just play and have some fun and make it abstract. So go get your water, your coffee, your tea, whatever it is, glass of wine, and let's just get stuck in and have a little bit of fun. Get your bits and pieces, and we'll just enjoy all the fun that we're going to have. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make a frame. It's just something I had in my head that I was determined to do. No rhyme nor reason as to why. And I want to go ahead and get some paint down on the paper. So I'm going to go in and get... The beauty of these is you just get it wet and it reactivates, and it's like it just came out of the tube. So I'm going to just have some little bit of fun in here, getting this piece wet. And I think spring is in the air. It's on my brain, so I'm like going in for some really pastel-y, pinky colors, you know, the bunny's ears, the pink flowers, all that exciting stuff. Okay. And remember, as we talk about every time, you know, even when you're doing an abstract, remember that when you use these hot, now I'm going to choose, I think, this yummy yellow, bright, beautiful, just like this beautiful day today out here. Remember when you use the really bold red, orange, hot pink, just remember that is a powerful color. So you gotta, when you go in, you gotta look back at it and think, oh gosh, did I balance that? Because right now the book tips, right? And I'm not trying to be the same on both. Although you would think I was with the way it's going in, but anyway. Don't laugh, but I think I'm going to do some lime green now. A little bit of lime green. You know what? It's so fun on these days when we just pull out the paints and you just have no purpose. You're just out there just hanging out with the paint. It's just, I don't know. I just don't give myself enough of these days. And I think as an artist, or even as a human being, honestly, we need to give ourselves more days where we just play in the paint. Just dabble around. Okay, this is that orangey yellow that I love. It's just so rich. Just so rich. Remember too, I try when I'm doing some of these abstract play times to kind of like give you some quick either reminders for myself or like if you've never heard it before. It's important that when you look at like that right there was a hard edge, and now I've put that yellowy orange on top. It's just important that you have a lot of soft edges with your hard edges. If you don't, the viewer, it's not as pleasant to view. Your composition isn't as strong as it could be. And that's why I bring it up. Gosh, what color now? What color? I think I'm going in for this really light blue. I think I'm going to just like play with the brush. Like make these really weird twirls. This is some of my favorite brushes. This is a rosemary brush. They're handmade in England, I believe, and I just love them. I have them in all of the sizes. They have sales occasionally, and I try when they have sales to go in and make sure I treat myself. I went in for a darker blue. I thought, if we're going to have a light, let's have a darker one as well. And then, believe it or not, I think I'm going to do some white, y'all. Seems crazy. But, yeah. See, it almost looks like a soft silver. And because some of this is still wet, it softens that up as well. Okay, let's flip this around. This looks like a little kid got into my paints and just had a good old time. Which is super fun. Okay. And sometimes you can mix on the page. See where this paper, it's not bothering me because of the activity we're doing today, but like you got to be careful. This paper does not like a lot of water. I can't remember what the pounds are on this book. I'd have to go look it up, but It's not as strong as my other sketchbooks, but this is the one that we're using today, and this is the one that I'm really trying to fill up. All right. I think I'm going to see if I can let this dry for a little while. It's quite a busy little section in there. Oh, you know what I am going to do is I'm going to take, while there's bits and pieces in there wet, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this right here while that dries. See what happens. Let's take this off because it feels pretty dry now. I didn't have enough paint and it was white. So it just sort of has a cloudy effect. You know, it's not like it wasn't effective. It was a little effective. Let's do the stencil now. Let's see. Usually I would use a brush. So I think I'm going to put it, let's see. I think I'm going to do it in the middle actually. I think I'm going to focus on this little round. Whoops, sorry. Okay, you've joined me back in. All right, I think I'm going to do, which is weird because it's in the crease of the book, but I'm thinking about doing this little round piece here. And I haven't done a stencil in so long. You're supposed to use a sponge. Let me get a sponge. All right, so when I got this palette I told you about, these came in it. So I am going to cut a few of these into sponges. It's really good when you get packing to keep as much as you can. I know it can get a lot and claustrophobic, but these things do come in handy when you need them. All right, let me get my camera back in to focus here. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna wet this a little bit because we're going with this. And I'm gonna do a dark color, I think. I think I'm gonna do like, oh, decisions. I think I'm gonna do, all right, y'all may be wondering, how is she gonna do that with this paint? Well, I've wet my sponge. Where is it? Hello? There we are. I've wet my sponge. And then I'm going in on the palette. I may have to do something else, but I'm trying to make this work. Okay, so I'm gonna just go in. And gotta get some more, wet that little sponge thing again. I'll take this little piece out and get it on there. Hold this down. You know, that's the beauty in a stencil, is it can be vague. It doesn't have to be like the whole bit. Gosh. I'm wondering if I use a brush, is that gonna work? Because it sure would be easier to get it out of here. definitely a lot more liquid. So I don't know, it may just be a big blob. But that's what we're doing today. We're experimenting and playing, and I don't use these very often. All right, here's the proof is in the pudding. Yeah. All right, so let's not panic. Let's not be sad. Let's go back with this puffy stuff and let's push down and see if we can get some of this out and get some texture in there. There we go. That's kind of neat. Okay, so that was definitely not very successful. But I've pulled out, even though I didn't want to, I pulled out my Winsor & Newton little teeny acrylics. So let's go back. This is pretty much dried. Let's get the stencil. We have the stencil now. We have this little sponge. We have our little dab of, I'm going to use yellow acrylic because it's going on top of this blue. And I'm just dabbing it in. I didn't want it to be this thick, but here we are. And you know what? I knew watercolors wouldn't work on a stencil, but I had hoped that the gouache maybe had a little enough body, but I think the way I was doing it probably just didn't work. And there we have an interesting little situation. And as we've got the paint that's still wet on here, let's flip this baby over and let's put it down here. And let's press it down. See what we get with this. There we go. How cool is that? Okay, let me wipe my hands off. And see, what else do we want to do? I love this layering. I think the layering is the ticket to making it pretty neat. All right, so now I'm going to go back to this bubble wrap and I'm going to dab it into a dark green. And some of the yellow. So we've got a little bit of it. And I think I'm going to take it over here. And I'm going to press down. Perfect. Pull that up. Believe it or not, I'm going over here, and I'm going to do the same thing again with the leftover paint that's on there. And I'll pull that up. Oh, I like it. Okay, maybe I can get one more out of it. All right, that's about probably all we're going to get with that stamping. All right. It's interesting. It's boring as heck up here. So we've got to figure out, I've got to figure out something over there. All right, so I've picked up one more medium, and this is my new pastel. My box, my Prismacolor. I love them. It's a soft pastel, so it's chalky. And I'm just going to make some marks down here and smudge it a little bit because I think that's really what it needs, a little softening. Softening things up a little bit. Gosh, I got green on my fingernails. What a mess. What you guys didn't see is when I got up from the table to get some more marker. Holy cows. I dropped the entire palette on the floor. It went everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. All right, I'm going to add in this lighter blue. Right in here. I love soft pastels. They're just so yummy. It's like applying some butter. You know, just so pretty and free. All right, so just by adding just a little bit of interest over here, that helps. So right now, we're busy, busy, busy here. We got a little softness there. I'm thinking something down here, something that'll tie it all together. So I've got this green that's similar to this green. I think, yes. I'll take it down and up, down. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave that. Taking a damp paintbrush. Yeah. Just wiping it down a little bit just to muck it up a bit. Maybe pull it this way. What's left on the paintbrush. Pull it across. I think, ladies and gents, I think we are going to end the day with this. Is it what I envisioned? No. Did I have a good time creating it? Yeah. I think days like this are good to have because life is not always perfect, but we experimented. I'm going to add a little bit of white up here while I'm talking. We experimented, and I think, honestly, I think that's what it's all about, is to make sure that we really do. I don't know, just really, really have fun. Ooh, I thought I was finished, but you know what? I'm really loving this. Okay. I don't think it's too busy. Do you? This is fantastic. Okay. I'm not going to junk it up too much. All right. This is the final piece. I'm pretty happy with it. It was a good experimental day. So I'll see you next week, next Wednesday in the studio. We will be doing something else. It won't be Sketchbook, but it'll be something else. Comment below and tell me what in the world you did and how it came out. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. It helps my channel. And I'll see you next week, guys. Have a great, wonderful week.